videotapes. Hi, come on in. I'm gonna let Mom sit here so that we can show her the videotapes. So this is our director's presentation.
Okay.
What you see right here is we've been pulling all the videotapes so that we could actually see every transaction of what happened during the day. And we're gonna show those to you and try to take notes of exactly what we saw happen.
Okay. Do you want Ron to stay in, or would you rather him step out?
You know, driver Ron wants to stay,
Would you
but-
prefer me to leave?
No, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to know what happened.
Right, same here. Okay, so we're gonna go back to, let me see where we're at here. Okay. So, he sits with his brother.
with Brantley.
Okay.
Yeah, so he normally sits with Brantley. Today, when we saw it, looked like Brantley had sat with a friend one row up. But by this point, they had already dropped at Liberty, and they're on their way to the ELC now.
So the reason why he's not in the front of the bus is because he would normally be sitting with his brother.
Okay.
But his brother sat up with a friend.
Okay.
So he's in the back. That was one of the questions that you
Yeah.
asked us.
Yeah. So I think, okay, now we're at the ELC. This is the back of the ELC. So what you're hearing is the No Child Left Behind alarm. Because
Okay.
they had to sit and wait for a while.
That's that alarm I was telling you about. So what happens after you've had your stop arm out and you stop, so at the ELC they turn their buses off while they're not idling. And so you heard that alarm, you see driver Ron go back and shut the alarm off. That's at the ELC. And there's Wade.
So now they have to sit and wait for a few minutes for the aides to come out to pick up the kids. That's why they shut their engines off. There's not.
He's doing a good job already. Mm-hmm.
Now the radio turns out. Still waiting. They haven't moved yet.
And you can see the other kids. The other kids are up at the front.
The ones without any siblings sit up front. Okay, so that's the end of that page.
So you can see we're still at the ELC, Mom. You can see the dumpster in the back. Okay.
You can see some kids up there. Okay, so they're pulling up now.
At the ELC, up to the front.
Pull up to the front.
You see the aide coming.
The aide stands at the door, calls for the kids to get off.
He appears not to realize, that kids are getting out. Right.
So at this point, point, kids have unloaded. And the driver starts heading back to the service. So at this point, once the engine's off, it only records a few minutes of video until it gets to when the engine's turned back on.
So you just unrecorded all day, unsupervised? He could have died though.
So now we're in middle school. That's where the bus driver is.
He's arrived in the middle. Can you stop for a second?
Yeah.
He's not watching.
So we don't know what he did all day? No, nobody knows.
The nurse was trying to ask him, and
But no adult knows what he did all day?
He was in his seat.
He was in his seat.
The whole day.
And when the nurse was talking to him, that's where she was asking him, like, you know, the hide and seek question. Did you drink? Did you eat?
So he did stay in that.
He did stay in his seat.
All day long, though. He's a 5-year-old.
Here's what we do know about this with Wade. When I went over to get Wade, he was acting like he was in charge and he was fine. And that is what we have to say. He was very responsible, and that's because you taught him to be responsible, right? Even as a 5-year-old. So you can say, as a mother, yes, you did great with him because look, he waited for an adult to see him, right? So that part of it, you did a fabulous job as a parent. He did a fabulous job as a 5-year-old, right? Which I believe he told me he was 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6 months.
He couldn't tell us when the birthday was, but
This is after he found him.
Yeah.
At this point, he calls. Says he found him weak.
he's letting the windows down as he's at the middle school waiting to pick up his middle school students.
So
And
the windows are up all day too?
They had the roof hatch
Well,
open.
some of them were down. He was letting them all down for the students because that's what they do when they get on the bus. But they were down. They were down.
And at that point,
That's one of our
Okay.
And
one
then
of
this
our,
point calls in the nurse, well, calls me, I call the nurse at the middle school.
And you can see he seems fine, he seems alert.
and so that when I got there, the nurse and all the middle school administrators were talking with him. They were giving him, you know, drinks and food and everything and trying to figure out what happened. And then that's when I say the nurse was trying to talk to him, like, did you play hide and seek on the bus? And then also, he told her that he didn't go to school yesterday.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he was very talkative. He,
Mhm.
at no time was he not talking about, like, what he thought happened. And what,
He probably just was a long bus ride, because he
Yeah.
just sat there waiting.
he just sat there waiting.
I
Mm-hmm.
was home all day though, I mean,
Yes. But
I
you
just
did,
got-
but you did not know this,
I
right?
know.
We did not know this and you did not know this, so there's nothing that you could have done differently, right? There's nothing that you could have done differently.
No.
Okay, there's our nurse. See, and look at, he's standing up, he's good. And she was checking his temperature when I got there. She was like, they were gonna like just do anything and everything to make him feel comfortable, and he wasn't afraid. He actually told Officer Jimenez, the SRO, I have a cop that lives next door to me.
Yeah, that's
So-
who was there when you guys arrived, yeah.
Oh, is he an officer?
Yeah.
So Officer Jimenez and him kind of connected like this.
Yeah, he wears his Ricky officer bracelet every day.
Oh, does
I
he?
saw that on it.
Yeah.
So I
So
think he thought it was just a long bus ride and he was waiting.
I
And then
don't,
he was like, oh, here we are. You
and
know?
he's like talking to Jimenez like, you know, he knows everything about cops. And there was nothing, when I got there, he was fine. I got there immediately after I got off the phone with you.
Okay.
I do think that he thinks it was a long bus ride, and like, you know,
We're finally here.
we're finally, and then he didn't understand that we were taking him home, you know, because he's like, is it time for school?
Yeah.
So that's when I came out and said to you, he will respond the way we respond. And you did a great job with him. I want you to know that. It took a lot for us to
Yeah.
maintain our composure as well. He's a very well-adjusted little guy.
Yeah.
He truly is. I'm not sure how other kids would have handled it, but he handled himself beautifully as a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. I'm not sure which one yet.
He's
Okay,
five,
because
okay.
he keeps trying to tell us 6. But
He's
anyway,
still learning, right?
yeah, he's good. But that is what happened. We didn't show you the end, we're at the end of it, but the fact is that when the drivers come back to the service center, in terms of driver Ron, because he had not put the stop arm out anymore, he didn't have the alarm sound. That's why you didn't hear an alarm when he came back to the service center, because it had not been back out again. And so, therefore, but should have walked the back of the bus, right? And so that therein is where the problem is. And Wade, amazing, truly amazing. When I got to the middle school, and I'll let you talk to the nurse if you want to feel better, but you can see he was standing up talking to him, and I think he just was waiting to figure out when he was going to school.
Which nurse is it?
Nurse Jamie, do you know Nurse Jamie?
No,
She's
I've
the
never
nurse.
been to the middle school.
She's actually in charge of all of our nurses, and she is housed at the middle school. And so when they called her on the radio, she came out immediately, checked him out, checked his vitals, checked everything, and she assured me that he was fine. Their important thing was, they filled up his water bottle. We asked him if he drank out of his water bottle, and he said no, but it was empty. They filled it.
Yeah, it was filled this morning.
Oh, well,
So
so he didn't
good,
get
so
that.
he did drink.
But I don't, yeah, he usually like swigs down water. I don't know how long he had it emptied.
Well, so he told us that he didn't drink it, but they told us it was completely empty, so they had filled it up. We gave him, he had, I know he drank a 7-Up, and I know he drank some kind of juice thing that they had for him, and he was eating snacks. And
It looked like some of the snacks, maybe they were in a paper bag in his backpack.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
eaten some of it.
And he basically was just having a conversation with us like nothing happened to him, except for he was at the middle school.
Yeah.
And when I walked out with him, he said, "I'm gonna go here someday." And I'm like, "Yes, you are." So, I'm so sorry. This should have not happened, at all.
I apologize. I really do. I don't know what to say. I goofed up. And I really, really am sorry. I mean, I've had Brantley and them for, and I would never, ever do anything to harm him whatsoever. And I'm just going to have to pay the consequences, which is normal. I just hope that you're okay and he's okay. Your husband and Brantley are all okay, I hope. Because no mother deserves it. No father deserves it. No child deserves this whatsoever. And we're here to protect the kids along with Dr. Bubbington and Ms. Gutierrez and Matt and John. They go out of their way to protect the kids.
This is Matt. Mackenzie clocked
You had
over
asked
Jill when he got
about
on the bus this
Monday.
afternoon,
And
Jill clocked him out when she got off the bus at about 4:20.
so, and I would tell you this just in terms of how you feel about it and how I feel about it, because I'm gonna get emotional
And
about it
we will
too.
be adding that on.
I understand that it's important that they sit with their siblings, but, I mean, first things first is that he's gotta be in the front of the bus.
I never told him to sit with his sibling.
Yeah.
I didn't know
And
how
a
the
lot
bus
of-
arrangement went.
And a lot of the kids do sit with their siblings, particularly during COVID. We've been having them sit with their siblings, because then you pass it to your sibling and not another student. But that is the first thing. If you entrust your child with us, and trust me, I've never had this happen here. But I'm gonna tell you that, I mean, like, that's the first thing is he's gotta be in the front of the bus with us. All of them have to be. And I'll make sure that that's happening with all of our kindergartners. And that we're following the protocol, even if you've idled your bus and not put your stop arm out, again, you have to walk your bus. And the alarm did not go off, but you still have to walk your bus. And that would have caught it, right there. I can give you those assurances, and I can also say that I can make sure that the aides are on the bus too, making sure that they're getting off. I can give you those assurances, and I want you to know that we will do it, and we'll take good care of them.
Maybe this is out of line, but would you prefer a different bus driver?
No,
seriously,
I'm not. I just don't know what happened.
If you don't feel safe with
it's not that. No, I don't.
Well, when you get something like this that's told to you, it's like a shock
it's
value, and you can't just
No.
even process all of it, which I completely understand. I wanted you to be able to see all of the videotape too, because I've been sitting here with Mrs. Gutierrez and the team here trying to
I just thought there would be more, like, because nobody knows what he did. Nobody knows when he
Because-
ran out of water or anything.
Well, the problem is
on
that
it.
when he's not on and the bus isn't, we don't have anything.
I know, it's just,
We've got all the other stuff, but
I
he's
just don't
right-
know what my kids.
he's right there where he left him.
Yeah,
And
but
so-
I feel like that's even worse, not going to the bathroom all day and just not
We tried to
knowing
get him
what's
to go to the
going-
bathroom at the middle school, and he said no. If that makes you feel a little better. He said he didn't need to go. He was thirsty when I got to the middle school. He was drinking a lot, and so that's a good sign too.
We did give him water on the bus.
Yeah, and the windows weren't all up, so that should give you comfort too. when he was taking them down for the middle school kids, that's because the middle school kids take them all the way down. So it kind of hurries it up if we go back there. That's how he caught it. But the windows weren't all up. They didn't have to be. We weren't expecting it to be all crazy rainy, whatever. So that's a good thing on our end. I think Wade, and when we talked to him, now the nurse kept talking to him about hide and seek because we didn't understand how he could have been on the bus. He did say that he slept a little. He told her that. You can talk to Nurse Jamie, but she said she kept talking to him about hide and seek, which is what she told me. I don't see hide and seek
No, I
on
was
there.
about to say, he never
I
moved.
No.
don't see hide and seek on there at all.
I think he was just thinking of what to say.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and at first, and I was telling her, I didn't know if he was afraid to tell us that, but I clearly did not see that on the
No.
video.
No.
So he was not doing that. But he did tell me that he plays hide and seek with you. So he does know what it is. So I will confirm with Nurse Jamie that we did not see that on the tape.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, I have to get heading home and stuff. My dinner time. So, but thank you for letting me watch the video.
I'd like to say that if you are forgiving enough, that you would entrust us to take care of him on Monday.
Yeah, I have to talk to my husband and everyone. Yeah, because we don't know what we're gonna go about. I just wanted to see the footage first to see like how.
Don't forget my dog.
Okay, thank you, Ken.
No, thank you. I'm so sorry. This is Sue. Sue was, we actually saw her on the videotape. And she was one of the first people to get on the bus. So I don't know if you wanted to say anything. I mean, like, Sue, he was okay.
Yeah.
But
He was so sweet. First thing I thought of though was water. I said,
Yeah, because he had water this morning, so I don't know if the footage doesn't show the
Yeah,
7
because-
hours in between lunches when he ran out of water or anything. So I
can tell you that when I got to the middle school to get him, he was good.
okay.
And I want you to have that affirmation because I did not see a little boy in distress.
Yeah.
And that, I'm telling you that for peace of mind,
No.
right? He's very well-adjusted little guy.
Yeah.
Giving Jimenez, Officer Jimenez an earful.
Yeah, I bet.
And so, I'll let you say goodbye, Mrs. Ciccio.
Okay. Thank you.
So sorry. And, there will be consequences.
Mr. Ron had asked at the bus stop when I saw him, he was just like, I'll probably be fired for this and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this happened with everything.
Well, I mean, as I showed it to you, I clearly could see at the Early Learning Center because of the idle. And remember, once the stop arm comes out and then you idle, that alarm goes off. So he goes to the back and shuts it off.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to put the stop arm out after he lets kids out. So he
No.
comes back here, no alarm.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, Wade
So-
wasn't hiding or he was just
He
sitting there.
wasn't, he was just sitting there. And so I asked driver Ron why he didn't go to the back of the bus, and he said, I should have. And he goes, even if the alarm wasn't going off, I should have. And I'm like, that's right.
Yeah.
And so he's been one of our best drivers. He's made a very lapsed decision on safety, and he should have went to the back of the bus. And I'm thankful that Wade is okay. And he's a very resilient little guy. He is. As a mom, and I know you told me that you have some anxiety, I'm sure that we put you over the top today. I didn't want to have to call and tell you that, but I wanted you to know right away as I was responding to him with his principal. On a different level, I can tell you that he must have a very good home life because he was really fine. He was
Yeah.
very well adjusted, he wasn't scared,
Mhm.
he was talking away. And so as much as I hated the situation, he responded very well,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of him for that. And you can be proud of him too. Not that he should have had to
Yeah.
respond, right? He shouldn't have had to.
Well, thank you for letting me view the footage.
No, and I'm again sorry. I will be handling my personnel problem here.
Okay.
You know, I want him to be able to get on the bus and not be afraid.
Yeah.
And I want you to have faith that we'll do the right thing. And I swear to you, I mean, like, the drivers will be hearing from me because
Yeah.
you cannot.
And
let
I was
something like-
never aware where he sat in the bus. When we did the ride along before school, Mr. Ron told us that the kindergartners sit up front, the older kids go in the back, so nobody picks on them, they'll be safe with him and everything, and I didn't even know Wade was that far in the back.
Well, and then when I'm talking to him, he said during COVID, we let them sit with their siblings. And I said, well, even when his sibling got off the bus, you should have moved him up front, right?
Yeah.
So that would be one of the things that is a really crucial thing too,
Yeah.
right?
Alrighty.
Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah, I have a phone.
Do you have it on you?
Yeah.
I mean, you can call me for anything if you need anything, but
Okay.
I can tell you that we will be there and we'll make sure that he's fine.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
And then whenever you guys, like, I don't know how you go about, like, the incident reports or anything, if I can get a copy of that, whenever, or anything that regards to this.
I absolutely will make sure that you get an incident report.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, and thank you for, I'm sorry that you had to go through this.
Okay. Bye.